Everyone, this is Vibhanshu Chaudhary, and today I am going to take workshop on A-Frame, which is a framework developed by Mozilla VR team for creating virtual reality experiences with HTML. So, if we are going to learn A-Frame, at least we should know what is virtual reality and what is augmented reality. Virtual reality is an artificial computer-generated simulation or recreation of a real-life environment or situation. It immerses the user by making them feel like they are experiencing the simulated reality by stimulating their vision and hearing. So, this virtual environment should be designed in such a way that users would find it difficult to tell the difference from what is real and what is virtual. Now comes the point of augmented reality. With augmented reality, users are able to interact with virtual contents in the real world and are able to distinguish between the two. Or in simple words, augmented reality is the blending of virtual reality and the real life environment. Okay, before learning A-Frame, we should know what is A-Frame and who developed it. So A-Frame is an open source WebVR framework for creating virtual reality experiences with HTML. Like we can build VR scenes that work across smartphones, Oculus Rift, desktop, etc. Basically, A-Frame is a three-JS framework that brings entity component system pattern to the DOM. Now, can anyone tell me what is DOM? DOM. Okay. DOM refers to Document Object Model. It is a programming API for HTML and XML documents. So, a DOM basically defines the logical structure of a document and governs the way a document is accessed and manipulated. For creating virtual reality experiences using A-Frame, we should know what is A-Frame. For it, we should learn first what is entity component system pattern, which is a vital concept in A-Frame. So in ECS pattern, I mean entity component system pattern, everything in a scene is an entity which we compose and attach components to it to add any appearance, behavior and functionality. Like where A/entity tag represents an entity, attributes represent component and attribute values will represent component properties. Who developed A-Frame? A-Frame is developed by Mozilla VR team to make it rapid and easier to build VR scenes and 3D scenes in order for them to prototype faster and to build the web development community into the WebVR ecosystem. You can also just take a sticky notes of the point which I am telling now. Whenever we will create virtual reality scenes using A-Frame, we have to include the JS build from the CDN by just dropping a script tag directly into our HTML code. So, the second vital concept in A-Frame is asset management system. We can use asset management system to preload and cache assets that will be used in our scene. Like A-Frame has an asset management system that allows us to place all of our assets in one place and to preload and cache assets for better performance. Games and rich 3D experiences preload their assets before rendering their scene to ensure like in the games and 3D experiences we might use models, textures, etc. So in rich 3D experiences and game, they generally preload their assets before rendering to make sure assets are not missing visually during means after a scene has been rendered fully. Now for learning A-Frame in a very good way, and so I will just explain the entity component system pattern again with more depth. So for explaining it in a better way, I will just divide entity component system into three terms. First one is entity. Entity is a general purpose object that inherently does exist but renders nothing. Okay. Second term in entity component system pattern is component. A component is a reusable module that is plugged into entities to provide experience, behavior and functionality. Third one comes system in the entity component system. A system provides scope, services and management to classes of components. Okay. So in a nutshell, entities are placeholder objects to which we plug in components to provide them any appearance, behavior and object. So let's take a simple example for understanding entity component system pattern in a good way. Like I have a laptop, so I can add a component color. I can add a component color to it to which will determine which type of what color my laptop is of. Like it can be of black, red, anyhow, means whatever any color. I can also add other components like operating system, which will determine which operating system my laptop is using. It may be Windows 7, Mac, Windows 8, anyhow. So components are roughly analogous to CSS, means just components are being used in a frame to add any appearance, behavior, functionality to our entities. Yeah, and while we will create scenes using a frame, there is a tag ascene. Ascene is the root tag which we will be using, and we will be putting every entity, every coding inside the ascene tag. So ascene tag is the root object. So guys, now let's start developing virtual reality scenes, and I am very sure that you will find it very like full of knowledge and full of fun. Okay.